This is the lounge in which James Hicks walked out the door with Geraldine Towers back in 1982. This was the last place Geraldine Towers was seen alive. Geraldine Towers was also murdered by strangulation. That James Hicks murdered Geraldine Towers here in this parking lot. So David, you're Jenny Lynn's cousin.
Right, be second cousin. She's my father's first cousin.
Father's first cousin. And you're very familiar about what happened with Jenny?
Yeah, I know a lot. I mean, you know, from what I probably know as much as most people know. As a child, trying to find out more and more, it seemed like it was like a subject people didn't really want to discuss in too great a length with me.
Right.
You know, and of course, we didn't have the internet, things like that, when I was a child to research that myself, but I always had an interest.
Yeah, but you know a lot of the direct family members to Jenny.
Absolutely.
You know, and you're part of that family. Well, your last name's Sear, and right. Jenny's last name was Sear, so you definitely from the bloodline of Jenny.
Yeah, her father, Adrian, was my grandfather's brother.
Okay. We're going to do a spirit box session. We're going to see if we can get a hold of your cousin Jenny Sear, who was the wife of James Hickes. And hopefully we can get a hold of her today. I can't promise we can. I don't know. I mean, these ghosts do things on their time, not our time. So, you know, we'll see. Hello? Is there anybody here, please? If you're here, can you say hi, David? Can you say hi to David? Did you say hi?
It sounded like you said hi.
What'd you say? Say hi.
It sounded like you said hi.
What'd you say? Did you just tell David to get out, the female voice?
Does somebody want me to get out? Want me to get out? Want me to get out?
Jenny Sear, I have your cousin David here with me. She just said, hey. Would you like to talk with David? Go ahead and talk with her if you want.
Would you like to talk to me, Jenny? Is there anything I can help you with, Jenny?
That was definitely a spirit.
Hey Jenny, do you remember what Adrian's nickname was?
Where's Jenny Lynn right now? Where's Jenny Lynn Sear? Where's she at? I know she's dead.
Yeah.
Jenny Lynn, how did you die? Jenny Lynn Sear. Got a response from Jenny, but I couldn't tell what it said. Jenny, what was your husband's name? Did she say Jenny?
I was suddenly. Like I broke out the Hicks after too. Any help you can give us, if anybody knows where the rest of Jenny's body is, can you please tell me?
Where is the rest of Jenny's body remains? Where are they at? Can you tell us, please? All right. All right. All right. You definitely said Etna, Kent. I heard that. How close is the rest of Jenny's remains to where they found her skull? How close are her remains to where they found her skull at up in Etna? That's Rachel, where she's buried.
Rachel, where are you buried? Buried. Buried. Buried.
What'd they say?
What I just heard?
What?
Basement?
Basement?
Is what I don't Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, Rachel, that's you. Hi. I'm sorry I haven't talked to you for a while. Rachel, did you die in this house? Rachel, can you answer that, please? Did you die in this house? Rachel, do you want me to find your body? Yeah. Are you sure it's in the basement? Rachel, are you buried in the basement? Rachel, who buried you in the basement?
Is it okay if I come back again?
Okay.
You don't want to talk to me now?
All right, well, we got to go. I'm running out of recording space on this. That didn't sound nice. If you're evil, get out of this house, understood? You hear that knock? If you're evil, get out. Start playing some gospel music. Boy, something's really pounding over here.
Something's coming over there, and I just saw your speaker.
Started shaking.
Yep.
Hello? Now you're starting to hear the sounds in here. Somebody down there? You hear movement in here? You guys moving around in here now? was that?
I heard that though.
Sounded like a disembodied voice. Jenny. I don't know if you're here or not, but David's with me here too.
Hi, Jenny.
Jenny, are you here? See this? Come up with that camera. Jenny, can you touch this device? Thank you. Do you remember who I am?
Does anybody here know who I am? My name's David. I'm Jenny's cousin. David Sear.
So David, you're standing here where your cousin Jenny was murdered, and you've never been here before, have you?
I never have. Drove by it 1,000 times. I've never stepped foot here. It's kind of unreal feeling, really.
Yeah. Kind of opens up the reality of what happened.
Absolutely. Yes.
I mean, it's like you look down at this material here laying on the ground, like a piece of this floor, which more than likely came from the kitchen. That's a floor that Jenny used to walk on. And it's just really sad knowing the story about her with 2 children, that this is where she spent the last moments of her life, right here where we're standing. This is July, and we're coming up on the anniversary date of when Jenny was murdered on July 19th, 1977. And today's July 15th, 2018, so it'll be 41 years ago and 3 days when Jenny was murdered here. Now, we talked about doing a paranormal investigation here on that day, July 19th, but we decided to cancel it because we didn't think this would be a place Jenny would want to be on that date. And James Hicks also murdered 2 other women, and I personally believe that there's more victims, and there could be more victims buried out here at this T&N trailer park for all we know. And this is that window. I believe that was on the other side of the trailer, back by the back door, based on the pictures that I've got. You know, that would have been by the back door, but that window would have looked inside the living room. Right. Where Jenny was murdered. Jenny, are you here by chance? Is there anybody here that would like to speak with us, please, about Jenny Lynn Sear? Are there any spirits here that was murdered by James Hicks? Are you a victim of James Hicks? And if you are, can you give me your name, please? Now, David, on the way over here, you're telling me about a family member talked to you.
Yep.
That when they found parts of Jenny, it was in a cooler and there was also concrete involved.
Correct.
Look at this tool right here that I found in this garage.
Yeah, it's definitely a concrete rake.
And if James did concrete work, I mean, that's kind of creepy. Did he use this that night when he murdered Jenny to mix the concrete, which would kind of make sense that he possibly did that in the garage here. Jenny, was this yours? Was this your dress?
But there's clearly lots of stuff from the 70s in there.
Well, the 70s looking stuff was all over here. I moved
Right.
it over here, but then I come back and somebody frickin' ransacked it. And I'm wondering if James Hicks did maintenance work here in this trailer park too.
I doubt it. I mean, that's the line of work he was in.
Is there anybody in this garage that can speak with us, please? Jenny Lynn Sear, are you here by chance? Yeah, restart my camera. If you were murdered by James Hicks, is there some way you can validate to us that that happened to you? My name's Kent. This is David. David is Jenny Sear's cousin.
If anyone has anything they'd like to say to me, please feel free. I'm here to hear what you have to say.
If she really wants something she wants to pass on, she could be following us, trying to communicate, but there's a good chance that, and I've thought of this, I mean, think of this, there's a good chance she's not really sure on how to communicate because has any living person ever tried to talk to her before?
Well, I was thinking about that actually this morning, and I said it to my wife. I said, you know, as far as when it comes to if she communicates with me, it'll be 41 years since she's talked to anybody in her family.
Yeah. Yeah, and does she even know how to communicate as a spirit?
Right.
I mean, I'm sure that she can communicate in the realm that she's in, but she may not have a whole lot of know-how on how to communicate to where we can hear her.
Right.
I do know that we do hear from her on the spirit box, but it's brief words. It's like one or two words, very brief. You know, I mean, who she's had to talk with over the last 41 years? Nobody in the living world.
Right. Well, I know a couple of my uncles and one of my aunts. They've expressed some interest. They're really interested in what I'm doing here with you,
Yeah.
and they're hoping that if I get some sort of results, that there's hope that they would come along and they would actually try to get some results from that too. You
Yeah.
know, that I mean, she's in my family. That's obviously that's the most traumatic thing that's happened.
Right.
And you know, most families don't experience that. All of them were there. My Aunt Sue was really close with her, even at the time. They went to school with each other. You know, it's really hard for them still, and they're 41 years later.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody's really got closure.
No. And maybe that's what Jenny wants, for people to have closure. I mean, it's possible that that's why she can't pass on. because she sees everybody hurting really bad, and she probably needs to let everybody know that she's okay, and we need to let her know that her kids are okay. Another thing that I thought was creepy is when it talked about Lynn Louette's body parts in buckets filled with concrete. And I saw all these buckets sitting here and that concrete tool. Now I know these aren't the buckets from back then, because back in the 70s they didn't have this type of material. But it was just kind of creepy that these buckets are sitting here with a concrete tool and bags of concrete. That was just kind of creepy.
Right.
Can you light this up, please? That's it, thank you. It's a thing called residual energy. I mean, is there residual energy right in the spot where she died? Stuff like that. I don't know. Hello? Hey! Closer. Go ahead and talk, David, if you want. David.
Is there anybody here with us? If anybody's here, can you tell me your name? Does anybody here know my cousin Jenny Hicks? Jenny Sear. Can anybody tell me what happened to my cousin Jenny? Jenny Sear, are you here with us? We know it's probably not a place you enjoy to be. Is there any more victims of James Hickes here?
If you're a victim of James Hickes, what's your name? All right, well, we're going to go. Is there anything you guys like to say before we leave?
Do you want us to stay?
You do? You do? You guys need to talk? All right, well, we're going to go. Said no. Okay, if you don't want us to go, are you able to talk to us? Who said no? What's your name, please?
Does anybody know my name?
David? David? You just said it.
Well, there. Would you like to say anything else to me? What's your name? You know my name. Do you know my last name? My name is David Sear. I'm looking to speak with my cousin Jenny. The one that knew my name. Is there anything you'd like to say to me? Would you like to tell me your name? Would you like to tell me your name?
Is there anything you guys like to say before we go? Okay, remember, nobody follows us home. Can I get confirmation that Jenny's buried in Etna by the town line of Carmel? Do any of you know if Jenny's buried at the town line of Etna and Carmel? So I'd really like to get down to the bottom and I really like to get down to the bottom of where Jenny's remains are buried. I do believe it's at the Carmel Etna town line. But I can't just show up there with the shovel and start digging. I mean, that's not going to work. Especially when it's private property. We'll have to figure something out. But I need more confirmation that that's where she's buried. I'm probably going to take the spirit box there and do a test, bring the EMF meter or something, and see if I get reactions to that spot where they say that the rest of her remains are buried. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? All right, listen up. I'm going to Etna to try to locate where Jenny's body's at. You guys mentioned she's in Etna. So I'm bringing my spirit box with me and I'm bringing my EMF meter, which has an alarm on it. If I get close to where Jenny's at, please tell me. Set off the EMF meter or let me know on the spirit box or both. You guys told me that there's a possibility that she's in a pasture at the Carmel town line on Etna's side. So that's where I'm going. Let me know if I found the right spot where Jenny's remains are. Alright, so I'm on my way to Etna to see if there is any possibility that these ghosts can pinpoint exactly where Jenny Lynn Sear remains are buried. As you know, they've only found her skull. So I brought my EMF meter with hopes that if I get close to where Jenny's remains are buried, that the EMF meter will go off. I instructed the ghost to set it off. And I brought the spirit box with me to try to get these ghosts to communicate with me if I happen to come up on Jenny Lynn Sear's body. So here we go. I'm going to turn the EMF meter on now. I'm going to go ahead and turn the spirit box on now, since I'm getting close to the Etna Town, Carmel Town line. Hello? I'll be a son of a bitch. Is this where she's at? All right, people. I am at the Etna Carmel Town line. The EMF meter's going off. I have no doubt Jenny's buried over here. Is this where Jenny's buried? Her remains. Her remains. Did I pass it now? Is it possible that there could be other victims to James Hicks buried somewhere here in Etna? Because a lot of people believe that these three young women were not the only victims to James Hicks. Is it possible that there's victims buried throughout Etna? I believe it is possible. I believe there are more victims than just the 3 women. Does anybody know if there's more victims from James Hickes? Are you able to answer that, please? Do you guys know if there's any more victims to James Hickes that were murdered and buried here in Etna? Did you say that there's 5 victims total or 5 more victims? Do any of you know who James Hickes is? Do any of you know who Geraldine Towers is? Do any of you know who Geraldine Towers is? Geraldine Towers, are you here by chance? My name's Kent, and I'd like to find the rest of your remains. Are you here by chance? Jenny Lynn Sear, are you with me by chance? Is there any way you can tell me where the rest of your remains are? Is it at the Carmel line, town line, where I was just a little while ago? Okay, I'm going to drive by the Carmel Etna town line again. I got the EMF meter with me. If you touch that, make the alarm go off. I know you're there. And talk with me on the spirit box and let me know if Jenny Lynn Sears' body's buried on that town line. Okay? All right, let's go back to the town line. So you guys are telling me Jenny's right here. "41 years ago tomorrow, Jenny Lynn Sear spent the last hours of her life where you see right here of what used to be their trailer that they lived in back in 1977. TNN Trailer Park also remains a little ghost town within itself. How many other victims are out there that James Hickes killed that people don't know about? Because I believe there's other victims. Is there somebody in this car with me? Hello? I'm going to be doing a follow-up spirit box session here. I'm at the TNN Trailer Park. And the reason why I'm doing a follow-up investigation spirit box session is the last time when I came out here, David Sear was with me. And when David asked, do you want us to stay? There was a female voice that said, not David. So I talked to David about it, and I told him I'm going to come back to the TNN Trailer Park by myself and see what's going on with that. I mean, I don't know why a female voice would answer that. I'd like to figure out who she is. You know, what that was about. I have no idea, but I don't know if they just want to talk to me alone or what the deal is. So anyway, I'm back here, and I'm going to do the spirit box session, and we're going to see what we can pick up. Before I start that, is anybody here, please? Hello? What the hell was that? There's, you know what? There's something on this dashboard that just moved. This car's totally off. It's been shut off for the last 15 minutes. Something moved in this car. Are you sitting in this car with me? Hello? All right, let's do the spirit box. This is Kent. Is anybody here, please? All right, there's a female spirit that said you didn't want to talk to David at the time, so I'm here alone now. Did you want to talk to me alone? Fully charged battery in this camera. It's only been recording 2 minutes, 50 seconds, and it's dead. So much for using that. Is there anybody here, please, that would like to speak with me? This is Kent. Can you hear me, please? You wanted me to come back by myself, so I'm here. By myself, so I'm here. Are there any more remains of any victims buried here where I'm sitting? Where are the remains at? If they're buried here at the TNN trailer park, where exactly are these remains at? Do not follow me home, okay? If you're evil, that is. If you're evil, do not follow me home. All right? I heard that. Hello? Is somebody here in the car with me? Now, a lot of people don't want to get on camera. They've given me information, but they do not want to get on camera. Some of them just don't want anything to do with this anymore. Some of them are scared. And some of them, just for unknown reasons, just absolutely do not want to get on camera with this. But everyone that I've talked to, every one of them has stated without a doubt they fully believe that there is a lot more victims than just these 3 women.
Everybody has these, it seems like a rite of passage almost to when you pass away, that your family can mourn you. You have an obituary, you're remembered, there's a celebration of your life, there's something that goes on.
Right.
She was robbed of that.
Well, yes, she was.
She was absolutely, and her family was robbed of that. I think over the years, I mean, and even immediately, and then over the years it probably got more, that it changed how they were able to deal with this whole thing.
They never really had closure.
Right.
I mean, the rest of Jenny's body, her remains are buried out there somewhere, and there's not 100% full closure on this. And that's probably why these ghosts are involved with this. Because I do know one thing for sure. A lot of these ghosts, they ask for help. Help me, Kent. Help me, Kent. Over and over and over again. I believe that they have some of them have unfinished business in this life, and they want help for closure. And is it possible that this is what Jenny Lynn Sear wants, is closure, so she can move on? Jenny Lynn Sear, are you here by chance? Jenny Lynn Sear, are you here by chance? Hello, Jenny, are you here? Jenny Sear. Who just said my name?
Is there anybody here that knows my name? Is Jenny Sear here?
Is there any other spirits in here right now? Can you tell us your name, please? Do any of you ghosts know if James Hicks had more victims than just these 3 females, these 3 women? Did James Hicks murder more? Did James Hicks murder more? Did James Hicks murder more?
My name's David Sear. Is there anyone here that'd like to speak to me? I'm trying to talk with my cousin Jenny. Jenny Sear.
If if you're here and you're a ghost spirit, can you validate that you're here by saying David Sear? Do any of you other ghost spirits want to say anything before we shut this down? Not right now. Okay, Jenny, we're going to say goodbye for now. Is there anything you'd like to say before we shut this off? Anything you want to ask first before we shut it off, or are you all done? All done? All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking with us. Well, don't know what we got. I know we got some stuff because I heard it, but...
Right.
Is there anybody who'd like to talk with us still while I'm picking up the equipment? Anything you'd want to say? I usually pick up EVPs in here and get disembodied voices. Okay, David's digging right here. Is this a good spot? Well, its shovel sunk in deep, didn't it?
Cloth or something under some kind of
Towel.
piece
Holy
of clothing
crap.
or blanket or something.
Well, that spot seems really low and the grass was discolored in this area.
Yeah, I'm gonna dig that up. Wow, that's been in there a long time.
Okay, now that's weird.
Yeah, that's woman's clothing.
Yeah, that is
It's-
woman's clothing.
It is
From
women's
back in the
clothing.
day, look at that print.
Yeah, that's definitely women's clothing.
I dig more over here.
Dig it all out.
Over here.
Dig it all out.
Dig more over here.
Dig it all out.
Okay, we found a piece of clothing article of what looks like women's clothing in a very strange area. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense why a piece of clothing article would be buried right here. And it's definitely a female piece of clothing article. David's going to continue to dig. Whose piece of clothing article is this?
And this stuff is really, the grass has grown right into it.
That was buried in there, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Before the clay, if someone was gonna dig here to bury something, you'd start hitting some clay.
Well, James Hicks has a history of putting them in shallow graves. I mean, in everything they found, it was a shallow grave. Zip ties. Why would zip ties be buried right in there?
Weird, that might have been for my shovel. Trash.
If you're a victim of James Hicks, what's your name? Sound like it said female grave or something. Evil? What's evil? Talk to us. What's going on right here? The spot where David's digging. Did James Hickes bury more people right here where we're digging? If there was another victim buried by this pole here, what was their name, please? How old was the victim and what's their name, please? Are there any victims buried right in here where we're at? Victims to James Hickes. No fucking way.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's a bone. Oh my God. That is a bone.
And they're definitely fucking bones.
These were down in the dirt. And there's no doubt these are definitely bone fragments. Question is, what kind of bone fragments? So today, it was 41 years ago that Jenny Lynn Sear was murdered right here in the spot where we're standing. And I've got Jenny's cousin David's here, and David's wife Tammy's here. And we are going to plant a little memorial cross here in remembrance of Jenny Lynn Sear.